Have you ever been watching a movie, for example Spiderman, and noticed that in one of the scenes, like this one where Peter Parker is testing out his new Spidey abilities, the order somehow seems to be jumbled up, where things fix themselves and other things disappear. Like when he gets his sticky silk stuck all over this lamp, then pulls it towards him and it smashes. I know, but don't worry, because when Aunt May comes along to investigate what all the banging was about, the lamp's fixed.
Hooray!
With that in mind, here are 10 continuity errors you missed in popular movies. Spider-Man being the first one, of course. 2. Back to the Future. In that scene where Marty McFly realizes that if he doesn't get his parents together, he'll fade from existence, he uses a photograph of himself in the future to see how long he's got left, wedging it between the strings on the top of his guitar. Look at that fake hand. But anyway, in the long shots when Marty's playing with the band, the photo is nowhere to be seen. But actually thinking about it, the whole photo would fade, not just him in the photo. Because why would you take a photo of nothing? That just doesn't make sense. 3. The Dark Knight Rises. When Bane and his henchmen arrive at the stock exchange at midday, light, when it's light, they end up leaving on their motorcycles with a bunch of hostages. And it's dark, even though the whole transaction probably would have taken only about 10 minutes. But that said, Batman fighting does look a lot cooler at night. 4. Casino Royale. When 007 enters a poker tournament, he has to create a password that the film reveals to be the word Vesper after the love of his life that he met on the mission. But the film shows Bond typing something completely different. Either that or it's a very strange spelling of Vesper. TDMJGP? Definitely not Vesper. 5. Argo. When Tony Mendez finds the script titled Argo, it has a nice black cover on it with lovely gold writing. But in the very next shot, when Mendez brings the script out to his friends, the cover's gone. Maybe he ate it. Yeah. 6. Star Wars. Remember the Death Star trench run where Luke's being chased by Darth Vader and also has to shoot the missiles in the thing? Darth Vader manages to get a lock on Luke, but oddly possesses the aim of a stormtrooper and ends up hitting R2 instead. But don't worry, because it doesn't appear to have done any damage to him. However, when Luke returns to Yavin, R2 appears to be very battered up, contrary to what we saw in the previous scene. Maybe they hit a bird on the way back. 7. Star Trek. Upon having the Enterprise taken away from him, Kirk decides to get drunk in a bar. Of course you would. But there must be a hole in his glass, because after filling it up, he goes to take a drink and it's suddenly empty. 8. The Avengers. When Iron Man's repairing the busted up rotors on the helicarrier, and Nick Fury tells Stark, "We're losing altitude," we see that on Tony Stark's monitor it says 15,000 feet. However, a few minutes later on Fury's monitor, it reads 18,000 feet. So,
we're actually gaining altitude.
9. The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. When Frodo makes the decision that it's best for him to go on his own to Mount Doom, his trusty sidekick Sam is determined to go with him, and despite not being able to swim, wades out into the water getting awfully wet and then nearly drowning, forcing Frodo to have to pull him out. But oddly, and perhaps on the plus side for Sam, his clothes appear to be bone dry. Bet you didn't notice that error. 10. Jurassic World. Brushing aside the fact that Claire manages to survive all the chaos running around Jurassic World in her
ridiculous shoes
without even breaking a heel, you'd think that they'd probably get pretty dirty. But when she arrives at the T-Rex's paddock to release the original T-Rex, her shoes are perfectly clean. And then when she leads it to the Indominus Rex, her shoes are dirty again. Maybe she ran through a puddle that washed them off or something, and then ran through another one that made them dirty again. I don't know.
For your daily celeb fix, subscribe.